Okay, it's day 79. This is part one. And here's Josh Meyer. Josh Meyer, if you don't know Josh Meyer, he's with Politico. He's the political reporter that did this Operation Cassandra. So he is probably got the blockbuster story of the year, in my opinion. This is the $200 million a month drug operation, weapons operation, taking cars from the New York area, bringing them through Washington, D.C. here, sending them to West Africa, using diplomatic immunity on the containers. Where have you heard that story? Who was in the Bronx? Who was down in Washington? Who identified the Hijra Mosque as the centerpiece of this operation? I don't know, but we're going to find out. So this is it. This is a blockbuster. This is obviously the best reporting. No, the best reporting isn't that Donald Trump is a stable genius with a record stock market. The real reporting is when you dig. This is it. So Josh Meyer, if you haven't seen him before with Politico, gets the kudos here. He identifies this key guy named Derek Maltz from the Southern District of New York, up in the New York area. Somebody should interview him on an alternate news channel, an alternate YouTube channel. I think he'd be a great interview. But he's the guy who has worked on this. And he talked about this being a $200 million a month drug operation. West Africans bringing, like Alpha Jola, bringing the cars down through the Washington, D.C. area, then shipping them out through eastern ports to West Africa.
In this country, there are cars moving, going to West Africa. The car parks are lined up and they're booming. If you look at the Wall Street Journal article at the end of 2016, they talked about how these car parks are exploding, not just in Benin, but all over West Africa. And they're coming from our backyards, right here in our country.
And you're saying this is how the money is being laundered?
The money is being laundered. It's supporting Hezbollah. They're buying weapons. They're coming up with their logistics. You see, criminals are turning, terrorists are turning to criminal networks for their funding. State sponsorship is down. They need funding to operate. They need funding to corrupt government officials. Drug trafficking and other criminal activity around the world is helping to generate hundreds of millions of dollars. The UN estimated that drug trafficking a few years ago was generating $400 billion a year around the world. The terrorists are taking advantage of this opportunity.
Financially.
The key here is that they had a great case. They had hundreds. They did a $500 million seizure, but they could have gone for more. The same businesses that are on our Trello board are going to be a part of this next round. This next round is going to happen. Jeff Sessions is going to be replaced. So is Rod Rosenstein. Somebody is going to come in to be that person at the Attorney General's office that follows up on this. And this $400 billion a year industry and the logistics that goes along with it is going down. Now, I last night talked about people coming to the White House. People who had a Navy intelligence background who then somehow ended up in JTTF, all these strokes people, and they end up in FBI JTTF as Coast Guard people. And it just seems to be the way it, I'm again going on the metadata, and they are doing logistics. After they go to bed at night and they've done logistics, they dream about logistics. These are logistics people. So these are Navy logistics people that then become Coast Guard logistics people. And it looks like every time there is something to do with a shipment on the high seas, again, having to do with logistics, you can bet Peter Strokes or Devin Strokes' son or Catherine Strokes or Kristen Strokes will be there. And now we've even identified a Kim Strokes Scheidegger, and we've identified a Patricia Strokes and an Adam Strokes. Is there really that many Navy kids doing logistics in the Strokes family that they have to, and they're all coming to the White House with only 100 Strokes families in the United States? Is it really more a group of people that do logistics? Well, here they are, and guess who they're meeting with when they go to the White House? They're meeting with Osbaldo, not Hezbollah, Osbaldo Cantu. Osbaldo Cantu is from, you guessed it, where I was earlier this year, Johns Hopkins, doing surveillance and logistics, geospatial collaboration environment. The Awans, the programming side of the Awans, not the car theft side, but the logistics side, and really Imran Awan graduated from car theft and the car ring and running that, recruiting. I'm not saying he stole the cars directly, but the Alpha Jolas, and moved up into this logistics of those cars moving. This is, again, a $400 billion a year. You had the detective, the guy who ran the Special Operations Division of DEA, just tell you they got into logistics. Just told you that. That was in the Wall Street Journal article. And this is what it is. It's very sophisticated. It's run out of Johns Hopkins. Molly McCauley was getting them the geospatial information through NSA, through NOAA. I know it sounds complicated. It is complicated, but it is what it is. You have to follow the facts. You have to follow the information.